Come on, little one, you gotta go back in. Let's go. There you go. What a beautiful, clear, cool morning. Nobody seems to be in a hurry this morning.
No, I guess not. They're sedately coming out.
Hi, I'm Pete, and welcome to Just a Few Acres Farm. You know my wife, Hilarie. I'm happy to be back on the farm. My travels are over, and Hilarie is not very happy. Yep, it's morning chores. You're happy I'm back, right?
Yeah, I'm happy you're back.
Good morning, turkeys. You guys always have a lot to say. Watch out. We gotta move, you guys. Everybody gets some water. Look at that big old sun coming up. Titus and his crew are still in the barn. Couple more weeks, they'll be back out. This is that hay I baled a little bit too damp a couple weeks ago, and I've been feeding it out. And I actually like it when it's got a little bit too high moisture because it ferments and it smells sweet, and the cattle eat it up. We ran out of pig feed temporarily, so we're feeding a few bags of pig feed till the next delivery comes. Good morning, JJ. How are you doing, big guy? Yes, it's another day. Bossy Pig. Billy. Breakfast time. Here you go, Bill Bob. And last but not least, Brownie, who's peeing. Good morning. We know that Brownie is pregnant now, don't we, lady? We know you're pregnant because you're losing your hair. Brownie always loses her hair a couple weeks before she gives birth, and then she grows it back a couple weeks after. Pretty exciting. These will be the first piglets that were sired by the young boar, Billy. And I can't wait to see what they look like. Hey, you little monsters. JJ's your father, right? Yes, you know. Be nice. Be nice for the camera. Too pushy. Here we go. Breakfast. Cattle are out eating, but I gotta check their water. And last but not least, the ladies. Good morning, ladies. You guys are getting low on hay. You're going to have to start eating your potatoes and not just the candy. And that's it. That's morning chores for all the animals. Well, except for we got one batch of meat birds still in the brooder. Hilarie took care of them. And then we got the pullets we're growing out in the winter house. 75 of them. Hilarie takes care of them too. This afternoon it's in the low 60s. It's breezy and quite cloudy. Nonetheless, I'm going to cut some hay, the last hay of the year, because the forecast shows 5 or 6 days of sun with temperatures rising all the way up into the upper 80s by the last day. But before I do that, I got to move these belly acres. Right, Patty? Oh, she's giving me the cold shoulder. I have a delectable buffet all ready for you guys. They're skeptical. They found it. Some of them anyway. The rest of them I think would just like to stand over here and bellyache at me some more. Come on, Orden. This is some fine, thick stuff. I clipped this field probably a month ago, at least a month ago, and I've let it rest since then. And it's really come up nice with all this rain we've been having. What are you doing, Orden? Bellyaching, digging in the dirt? I know your boss. Even though you got a poopy butt. What's this horseplay? Is that better? You can see where the residue of me clipping has come down to soil level and the grass is growing up through it. That I believe to be a very good thing on pastures. August is a time of crickets here in central New York where we live. All day long, I'm sure you can hear them in the background of the videos. Hi ladies. August into September until the first frosts come, crickets and the whine of tree frogs high up in the trees. $7.56. What's my fuel situation? Maybe a little bit more. I've been running the 856 and the shifting is so much tighter than this. It's a welcome relief. And the steering. Steering's nice and tight. 856 is a little bit loose. Mark my hoses with a little zip tie here, and I know the zip tie goes on the top or the left outlet. I don't know if you remember, but when I was doing first cutting hay, I blew a hydraulic line on this 756. Unfortunately, it was just an easy repair. It was just one of these soft lines that comes from the MCV up and goes to the transmission cooler in the front. And you got to make sure you don't get, of course, automotive heater hose. You need a hydraulic hose, but just went and got some hose and replaced them both. Farmer's best friend? Grease. Yep. Just off the top of my head, there's got to be 30 grease zerks on this haybine. And some in places it would be hard to know about if you didn't have a manual, like under here. And a whole lot of them in here where the drive chains and belts are. Lots and lots of bearings, sprockets, slip clutches, overrunning clutches. Some you can't even see if you didn't know they were there. U-joints on the PTO. These are always fun to get at. May as well grease the tractor too. Oh, where are you? Oil the chain. I used motor oil for this job. It's thrifty. Some people just pour it over the chain, but I like to be a little bit neater. And some people do it while it's running, but I'm a little scared to do that. There's too much whirling around in here. We get most of it, it'll spread around to the rest of the chain after it gets going. Oil. Check. Transmission hydraulic fluid. Check. Radiator. I think this has a replacement radiator in it. Check. Operational test. Yep, here we go. We're going all the way down and around and over to the triangle field here. You remember the triangle field? Are we ready? Beautiful. Listen to her hum. The haybine gobbles it right up. Let's see what we got. This is very thick stuff. We got a lot of East African ground orchids in here. Two different varieties. I think maybe it's northeast and east. Not sure. This year's been very strange. I cut this field at the end of May and then it started raining and it never stopped raining. Normally I cut these on about a 6-week schedule, but this is set since the end of May. And like I always say, you get the best growth if you cut regularly. It keeps this stuff down, keeps it from going to seed. Back on the tractor. Love mowing hay. I do. In our climate, the dry hay season runs from about the beginning of June through, I usually figure, the first week in September. The problem that happens if you try to make dry hay later than that is the dews get so heavy from the cool nights, the days are shorter, and the sun isn't at as high an angle. It gets really hard to make it dry. Now, haylage or baleage, high moisture hay, is the exception. Folks will make that through about the end of October. In an ideal year, and I have to say there are very few years that are ideal, I'll make first cutting hay at the beginning of June, second cutting 6 weeks later, and third cutting 6 weeks after that, which puts me roughly at the beginning of September. I've done it, but there are many years you just can't do it because of rainfall, dryness, all kinds of things that Mother Nature throws at you. Take her down a little bit here. I got one for you. I love the smell of the fresh grass when I'm mowing. And it reminds me of an old joke that my great uncle twice removed told me. He said, you know that smell of steak when you first put it on the grill and it sort of makes your mouth water? Well, I wonder if vegans feel the same way when they smell fresh cut grass. Yeah, that's about how my jokes go. Pretty bad. what happened here. Chain skipped the sprockets. Not busted, just skipped. Chain came off the sprockets. When the head raises and lowers on this, sometimes it changes the alignment of the sprockets a little bit. And with me filming and starting and stopping, it makes it more likely to happen. Not the first time. We'll get through there. Well, that's mind-boggling. We'll just take it completely off here. That way we can turn it. Get it through there. There we go. Now I gotta remember which way it runs here. It runs over that one. Over that one. And then around the drive sprocket. Got it back on all the sprockets. Now I just need to hook up the tensioner. This could be fun. This job is always why I carry a couple of clean rags in my pocket when I cut hay. Used to have lots of problems with this, but took the rollers off to realign the sprockets, and it hasn't bothered much since. I think it was just all the start and stopping from filming. All right, let's give her a try. Here's what happened. This tensioner has loosened up. It's not keeping the chain tight. It's got a lock nut on the end of it, but it still worked loose. I don't think I have a wrench that size with me. One thing I can do is this got enough play in it where I can take it right off the chain. Well, I need two hands to do that and let the tension out of it, and then tighten it up and then put it back on the chain, since I don't have a wrench with me. And then just keep an eye on it until I finish mowing. You can also take the spring off here and tension it more that way. Yeah, that's got a lot of tension on it. There we go. Try number 2. That's better. That beautiful hawk. There he goes. Up into the tree. He's been hunting while I've been out here mowing. I wonder if there's any vegan hogs. I don't know. I should probably just stick to mowing then. Last little bit. Creepy creatures. This tractor sounds so good. The last time this haybine will get used this year, I sure will miss it over the winter. We got some nice thick stuff in this field. It wasn't super tall, but it was very thick. Somehow Hilarie always knows when I'm coming back up the field and opens the gate for me. That was a good day's work. I hope the weatherman is correct and all this cloud cover goes away tomorrow and we get that nice stretch of weather, because drying hay this time of year can be a little difficult. It's a change of seasons here for us. My traveling days are done. I'll be at the farmer's market all fall as far as I know, and we're on our last batches of chickens in the field. The turkeys are growing out. Pretty soon we'll be quietening down for the winter. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.